Tonight, let the room around you grow quiet and allow the bright present day to loosen its hold. Let the phone, the clock, the messages, and the little unfinished worries of modern life drift a little farther away. We are going to step into another kind of modern world, one that once believed itself new, clean, scientific, cheerful, and perfectly arranged. It is the 1950s. The kitchen floor shines beneath a square of morning light. A chrome toaster rests on the counter. A coffee pot begins its soft, steady sound. A radio glows in the corner and hums with a friendly voice. Outside, the lawns are trimmed, the mailboxes are neat, and the houses sit in rows like pastel promises. But tonight, we will not rush through this world. We will move slowly. We will notice the details without letting them startle us. We will look gently at a strange chapter of mid-century life, when many women were told that energy, thinness, happiness, and domestic perfection might all fit inside a small bottle from the doctor or the pharmacy. This is a story about diet pills in the 1950s, but it is not a story meant to keep you awake. It is a quiet walk through kitchens, waiting rooms, beauty salons, magazine pages, living rooms, pharmacies, and sleepless bedrooms. It is a story about pressure disguised as progress. It is about bodies asked to become smaller, faster, tidier, and more cheerful. It is also a story about ordinary respectability. The pill in this story does not arrive in a dark alley. It arrives in a clean office, on a prescription pad, inside a paper pharmacy bag, with a label typed neatly and a doctor's authority attached to it. That is part of what made it so powerful. It looked like help. It sounded like modern life. It entered the kitchen as quietly as the morning mail. You do not need to solve it tonight. You do not need to hold every fact tightly. The details can pass like the glow of a television through half-closed eyes. A bottle on a shelf, a spoon beside a coffee cup, a magazine lying open on a table, a woman standing in a clean kitchen, wondering why the house is quiet, but her body is not. And if you drift before the story ends, that is all right. The radio will keep murmuring. The clock will keep ticking. The coffee will cool in its cup. The curtains will hold back the pale light of the street. History can continue softly without asking anything from you. For now, imagine the morning. The sun has barely risen, but the house is already beginning to perform. The linoleum floor reflects a faint square of light from the window. The curtains are printed with cheerful little shapes, perhaps cherries, perhaps flowers, perhaps a pattern meant to make ordinary domestic life feel like a magazine spread. The table has been wiped clean. The chairs are pushed in. The salt and pepper shakers stand together like tiny sentries. The air smells of coffee, toast, soap, starch, and the faint sharpness of cleaning products that have promised a brighter kitchen and a better life. Somewhere outside, a car door closes, a dog barks once and gives up, a sprinkler whispers over a front lawn. Inside, the clock on the wall ticks in a measured way, slow and steady, even if the day will not feel slow for long. You are there in the kitchen, robe tied at the waist, hair pinned into place, slippers brushing the floor. The house is quiet before the rest of the family wakes. This should be the softest hour, the hour when the world is still undecided, the hour when a person might sit with warm coffee and watch the light grow. But the medicine cabinet is already part of the morning. Inside it, beside aspirin, cough syrup, cold cream, tonic, and little household remedies, sits a bottle with a neat label. It has the plain authority of prescription paper. It does not look dramatic. It does not look like a cultural force. It looks small, ordinary, respectable, something approved, something that belongs beside toothpaste and bandages. In the 1950s, that ordinary appearance mattered. A pill from a doctor felt different from a temptation. It felt like science. It felt like permission. It felt like modern life, helping you keep up with modern life. The same society that told women to trust the expert also told them to distrust their own hunger, tiredness, and discontent. The pill is taken with coffee, because the day is already asking for speed. The coffee is black, hot, and a little bitter. The cup warms your fingers. The tablet is small enough to vanish quickly, almost too small for the meaning people have placed inside it. Appetite, energy, mood, discipline, beauty, a better version of yourself. Promised before breakfast. Nothing happens all at once. At first, the house is still the same house. The toaster clicks, the radio introduces a song, the eggs wait in a bowl, the sink shines, then the body begins to change its rhythm. A little brightness behind the eyes, a sharper edge to the room, a sense that everything can be done, should be done, must be done, before the rest of the world has even found its shoes. The counter seems to need wiping, the shelves could be straighter, the pantry could be sorted, the curtains could be washed. A smudge on the stove becomes a small emergency. The morning expands into a list, and the list expands into a kind of weather. It fills the room, light and restless, until sitting still feels almost impolite. This is where the story begins, not with villainy, not with one foolish choice, but with a culture that had already prepared the stage. The post-war home was sold as comfort, but it was also a workplace. A woman could be praised for making the house seem effortless, even when the effort filled every waking hour. The same world that advertised labor-saving appliances also invented new standards for what a perfect home should look like. Cleaner surfaces, brighter laundry, thinner waste, better mood, more energy, less complaint. The washing machine might save time, but the saved time could be filled with higher expectations. The vacuum could clean faster. So perhaps the house should be cleaner more often. And so the pill enters the morning, like a little mechanical bird, winding the body tighter and tighter. The toast pops up, slightly too dark. You do not sit to eat it. The eggs cool on the plate. The coffee grows lukewarm. Hunger fades into the background. Not gone exactly, but muted, as if someone has turned a dial inside the body. The stomach becomes quiet. The hands become busy. A drawer is opened. Spoons are straightened. A dish towel is folded again. The table is wiped even though it was already clean. The radio sings about sunshine and soap. Outside, the street brightens. There is a peculiar tenderness in this image, if we look at it slowly. A woman in a clean kitchen, trying to be good at everything, trying to be pleasant, trying to be beautiful, trying not to be tired, trying to make the promises of the decade come true before anyone else wakes up. The clock continues. Coffee, toast, a bottle in the cabinet, a bright floor, a body asked to keep going. And now let the scene soften again. Nothing needs to happen quickly here. We can let the kitchen remain in morning light. We can hear the percolator settle. We can let the first rush of the day become only a low hum in the background. The story will continue, but it can continue gently. Before the rest of the morning takes hold, notice the breakfast table one more time. It is not dramatic. That is why it matters. A plate waits with toast gone cool at the edges. A knife rests beside a small square of butter. A napkin is folded neatly, because folded things suggest control. A cereal box stands near the milk, bright with promises of strong children and cheerful mornings. The kitchen is designed to make nourishment look simple. Yet for the woman at the center of it, eating has already become complicated. The family enters in pieces. A child with sleepy hair, another child dragging a schoolbook, a husband adjusting his tie, reading a headline, asking whether there is more coffee. Chairs scrape. A spoon clinks against a bowl. Someone wants extra sugar. Someone cannot find a shoe. Someone says the toast is too dark. The morning becomes alive with small needs, each one ordinary, each one landing on the same person. You move between them with the trained ease of someone who has rehearsed this scene many times. Pour the coffee, wipe the spill, find the shoe, pack the lunch, smile at the complaint, lift the pan from the stove, turn down the flame. Remember the permission slip. Remember the dry cleaning. Remember the doctor's instruction. Remember not to eat too much. Remember to appear as if none of this remembering is effort. The pill has not created the pressure. It has only made the pressure feel temporarily manageable. That is an important difference. The pressure was already there in the shining advertisements, in the neighbor's remarks, in the husband's expectations, in the doctor's tone, in the mirror, in the scale, in the quiet fear that one tired morning might reveal too much. At the table, everyone else eats. The children chew with the careless freedom of people who have not yet been taught to fear hunger. Toast crumbs fall, milk is swallowed, a bite of egg disappears from a fork. Food, for them, is still mostly food. For you, it has begun to carry meanings far heavier than breakfast should ever carry. A piece of toast could mean weakness, butter could mean failure, coffee could mean discipline, a skipped meal could mean victory. The body's simplest signals have been translated into a moral code, and the translation is exhausting. You may lift the cup again, coffee instead of breakfast, warmth instead of nourishment, a little bitterness on the tongue, a little brightness behind the eyes. The radio voice tells the housewife listening at home that a new detergent can make whites whiter, that a new appliance can save time, that a new plan can restore the figure she had before children, before marriage, before life widened her body and narrowed her choices. The family leaves, the door closes, the house settles into the silence after departure. On the table, one plate remains mostly untouched. The toast is cold now. The coffee has gone dark in the cup. Outside, the morning is ordinary and beautiful. Inside, the small bottle in the cabinet has already begun writing the day in a faster hand. By mid-morning, the house has become a stage for motion. The breakfast plates have been cleared. The family has moved on into school, office, errands, or the little rituals of the day. The front door has opened and closed. A car has pulled away. Shoes have crossed the hall. Voices have faded. The quiet left behind is not exactly restful. It is full of tasks. The vacuum waits in the closet. The mop leans in a corner. The laundry basket is heavy. The living room cushions have shifted out of place. A breakfast crumb on the table seems to glow with accusation. The house does not shout, but it suggests. It suggests everywhere. The pills were often sold in the language of pep. Pep for housework, pep for mood, pep for the woman who felt tired, blue, sluggish, or overwhelmed. The word was cheerful, small, and harmless sounding. It did not say dependence. It did not say insomnia. It did not say racing pulse or appetite erased. It said pep, as if what a tired person needed was not rest, help, understanding, or freedom, but a faster engine. It said pep, as if a woman were a household appliance herself, a bright machine that only needed the correct fuel to run without complaint. The vacuum begins its low roar. It moves across the carpet in straight lines, back and forth. Dust lifts into the bag. Curtains tremble. The radio is louder now, competing with the machine. The living room smells of warmed dust, furniture polish, and the faint lemon scent of a cleaner that promises modern shine. At first, there is satisfaction. The room improves under your hands. The sofa cushions become plump. The ashtray is emptied. The side table is polished until a lamp base reflects a soft little oval of light. The magazines are stacked. The family photographs are straightened. Each finished task offers a tiny spark of achievement. But the spark does not last. Another task appears before the first one has settled. The floor is done, but the baseboards remain. The baseboards are clean, but the window tracks are dusty. The window tracks are done, but the lampshade could be brushed. The lampshade is finished, but perhaps the hall closet should be rearranged. This is how artificial energy can become a loop. It promises freedom from fatigue, then fills the freedom with more work. It makes stopping feel like failure. It turns the body into a motor, and then praises the motor for running. Outside, a neighbor is in her own kitchen. Perhaps she is wiping a counter. Perhaps she is trimming roses. Perhaps she has the same small bottle in a cabinet, or a similar one with a different name, a different color, a different promise. Across the street, another woman hangs laundry, another shakes a rug, another pushes a stroller while silently counting calories. The suburb looks peaceful because everyone is moving in patterns that hide the strain. From the outside, the homes seem calm. Little lawns, clean windows, curtains drawn neatly to the side, a bicycle on the driveway, a milk bottle near the door. Inside, there are lists, pills, mirrors, scales, recipes, and the constant question of whether one is doing enough. The cleaning has its own music. The broom whispers over the kitchen floor. The mop makes a slow, wet sound. A pail is lifted, set down, lifted again. The washing machine churns. Hangers knock lightly inside the closet. The refrigerator door sighs open and closed. All these domestic sounds become part of the nervous rhythm of the morning. There is also the smell of the decade, wax on the floor, starch in the cotton, coffee left too long on the burner, bleach in the sink, a perfume dabbed behind the ears to keep the body feminine inside the labor, hairspray, soap powder, furniture polish, cigarette smoke lingering in the curtains. A clean house can have many smells, and not all of them are gentle. The vacuum stops. The silence after it is almost startling. For a moment, you might sit down. The chair is there, soft and waiting. Sunlight rests on the arm. A person could place both feet on the floor, take a breath, and simply be in the room. But the body is still humming, so the dust cloth comes out again. One shelf, then another, then the little decorative plates above the doorway, then the telephone table, then the inside of a drawer no guest will ever open. The work becomes less about cleanliness and more about movement. Movement keeps the hunger away. Movement keeps the worry away. Movement keeps the sadness from taking a clear shape. When the body is busy enough, the mind can pretend it is winning. And still, beneath the bright surfaces, there is tiredness. A shoulder begins to ache. The mouth feels dry. The heart seems too noticeable in the chest. The hands are steady enough to continue, but not quite peaceful. A person can be productive and unwell at the same time. A room can be spotless and still not feel safe. Let us return to safety for a moment. The vacuum is put away. The cloth rests on the counter. The radio lowers into a softer song. Light moves slowly across the polished table. The house smells clean, perhaps too clean, but clean all the same. A glass of water waits near the sink. The chair is still there. The morning is still only morning. You do not need to clean anything now. You do not need to finish the list. You can let the dust settle in history, where it belongs. The story moves next to the doctor's office, that small respectable room where many of these bottles first gained their authority. Imagine the waiting room, a row of chairs along the wall, a low table with magazines fanned across it, a plant in the corner, slightly dusty but determined. The smell of aftershave, paper, antiseptic, and old carpet. A receptionist behind a desk, writing names in a book. Women wait there in dresses, gloves, cardigans, or careful hats. Some have children beside them. Some have grocery lists folded in their handbags. Some are there for fatigue, some for nerves, some for weight, some for an unnamed sadness that has no comfortable place in the decade's vocabulary. The magazines on the table offer recipes, diets, beauty tips, housekeeping tricks, and glossy pictures of women smiling beside washing machines. The waiting room itself becomes a small classroom in how to be acceptable. Even while waiting to see the doctor, a woman is surrounded by instructions. When your name is called, the examination room is small and bright. The paper on the table crackles. The doctor's diploma hangs on the wall. There may be a model of the human body, a scale, a blood pressure cuff, a cabinet of supplies, a calendar from a pharmaceutical company, and a jar of tongue depressors that makes medicine look simple and orderly. The doctor listens, or perhaps he listens enough. He is a man of his time. wearing confidence like a second white coat. He hears that you are tired. He hears that your appetite is troublesome. He hears that your spirits are low. He hears that your dress feels tight, that you cannot keep up, that the days seem long, that you want to feel like yourself again. Though no one has asked what yourself was before all of this began, the prescription pad appears. In that gesture, there is relief. Someone has named the problem as solvable. Someone has offered a tool. Someone with authority has said that what you need is not weakness, but treatment. In a society that often blamed women for being tired, moody, hungry, aging, or human, a prescription could feel like mercy. And it could also become a trap. The language is careful. A little help, a modern aid, something for appetite, something for energy, something to lift the mood. Perhaps the doctor mentions that you may feel less hungry, as if this is entirely good news. Perhaps he says to call if there is trouble, though trouble is not clearly defined. Perhaps there is a refill, because life is long and fatigue is expected to return. The pharmaceutical world of the period was full of optimism. New medicines had changed lives. Antibiotics had transformed medicine. Vaccines, hormones, tranquilizers, stimulants, and countless new products seemed to promise that chemistry could smooth the rough edges of being human. Not every hope was foolish. Not every doctor was careless, but hope, when combined with marketing and social pressure, can become very persuasive. A product does not need to be understood fully if everyone around it agrees to call it modern. The doctor may not think of himself as selling an ideal body. He may believe he is helping. He may see a tired woman and offer what he has been told is useful. He may have read the materials, spoken to representatives, seen other patients return pleased at first. This is how systems often work, not through one villain in a dark room, but through many ordinary people repeating the story they have been given. You leave the office with the prescription folded in your purse. Outside, the day is bright, cars pass, a woman pushes a stroller. The pharmacy is only a few blocks away. The doctor's office fades behind you, but the authority of it travels with you. A pill given in secret might invite doubt. A pill given by a doctor enters the home with a white coat, still hovering around it. It becomes respectable. It becomes explainable. It becomes part of the routine. Now let the office grow quiet again. The paper on the examination table stops rustling. The receptionist turns a page. The magazines wait for the next pair of hands. And somewhere, in a handbag, a prescription lies folded like a small permission slip from the age of modern science. Before we leave that office completely, linger for a moment on the objects that helped make authority feel so natural. The framed diploma, the metal instruments, the scale in the corner, the glass jars, the white coat, the printed pamphlets stacked beside the receptionist's desk. Each object speaks a language of certainty. Each one says that the body can be measured, named, adjusted, improved. For women of the time, the doctor's office could be both a place of help and a place where their own descriptions of distress were made smaller. Fatigue might become a prescription instead of a question about labor. Sadness might become nerves instead of loneliness. Hunger might become appetite trouble instead of the body's request for care. Weight might become the central fact, even when the life around it was the heavier burden. The doctor is not necessarily unkind. That is what makes the scene more historically interesting. He may be brisk, paternal, reassuring, even sincere. He may believe deeply in the tools he offers. He may think he is easing suffering. He may not see the way the suffering has been shaped by the very world that praises the result of his prescription. On the desk sits a pen, a blotter, a phone, perhaps an ashtray, perhaps a sample calendar printed with the name of a drug company. There may be samples in a drawer. There may be brochures in language so smooth it seems to have no sharp edges. Words like vitality, reduction, nervous fatigue, modern woman, harmless support, physician recommended. Phrases that turn discomfort into a market and market logic into medical common sense. Patient leaves feeling seen, but perhaps not fully heard. She has been given something, and sometimes being given something feels better than being told to endure. A bottle is easier to carry than a social problem. A refill is easier to schedule than a conversation about marriage. Housework, loneliness, childcare, money, beauty, and the right to be tired. So the office becomes one of the quiet engines of the story. Not loud, not cruel in any obvious way, simply efficient. A woman arrives with fatigue. She leaves with a prescription. The larger question remains in the room after she has gone, sitting invisibly on the examination table, waiting for a decade that is not yet ready to ask it. The pharmacy on Main Street is not a shadowy place. It is bright, familiar, and almost cheerful. A bell rings when the door opens. The air smells of floor wax, paper bags, cough drops, perfume, and the faint sweetness of the soda fountain, if the store still has one. Shelves are lined with toothpaste, hair tonic, bandages, cold cream, baby powder, shaving soap, magazines, greeting cards, and little seasonal displays that make medicine feel like part of ordinary shopping. The pharmacist stands behind the counter in a clean coat. He knows names, he knows families, he knows who has allergies, who has nerves, who has a bad back, who has trouble sleeping, who has been trying to lose weight since Easter, and who comes in every week with the same careful smile. A prescription is handed over, a bottle is filled, a label is typed, pills are counted with little clicks. The sound is calm and professional, each tablet falling into place as if order itself is being measured. The paper bag is folded, the bottle is hidden, but only politely. There is nothing dramatic enough to make anyone pause. There may be no whispering, no shame, no alarm. The bottle slides into a paper bag. A few instructions are given. The transaction feels as ordinary as buying soap. That ordinariness is part of the history. Many women did not encounter these drugs as rebellion. They encountered them as compliance. They were doing what doctors advised, what magazines encouraged, what friends discussed, what culture rewarded. They were trying to fit the picture placed in front of them. At the magazine rack, the picture is everywhere. A smiling woman in a fitted dress. A headline about slimming, a promise of renewed charm. A smaller waist before summer. A happier home through better habits, a new scientific aid, a modern answer for modern women. The language is bright, and brightness can hide a great deal. Thinness in this world is not treated as merely a body size. It is treated as evidence, evidence of discipline, evidence of femininity, evidence of control, evidence that a woman is not taking up too much room in her own life. The smaller body is made to stand for moral success. You can feel the pressure before anyone says it aloud. It is in the glance of the dress rack, in the joke about the battle of the bulge, in the bathroom scale waiting like a small judge, in the girdle advertisements, in the diet plates at diners, in the way a woman is praised for eating little and smiling much. The scale especially has a strange power in this story. It sits on the bathroom tile like a household oracle. It is small, low to the ground, and easy to move, yet it can govern a mood more completely than any person in the house. Each morning, it offers a number that pretends to be neutral, but no number is neutral inside a culture that has already decided what a woman should fear. The mirror is another witness. It stands above the sink, at the vanity, in the department store dressing room, sometimes even in the hallway. It does not speak, but the mind supplies the voice. Too much here, not enough there, almost better than last week. Not good enough. The mirror is only glass, but the culture has written instructions across it. And so the bottle in the paper bag is not just medicine. It is a key, or it is sold as one, a key to approval, a key to energy, a key to the dress in the closet, a key to the husband's compliment, the neighbor's envy, the doctor's nod, the magazine's promise that improvement is always possible and always required. You carry the bag home in the kitchen. The bottle joins the medicine cabinet. It stands beside aspirin and cold remedies, small and lawful, and quiet. It does not announce the long nights. It does not announce the appetite that vanishes too easily. It does not announce the crash that may come later. It only waits for morning. The pharmacy bell rings again for someone else. Another paper bag, another label, another respectable solution. Before we return home, pause near the magazine rack. This is where the medical story meets the visual one. The covers are glossy, colorful, and confident. Women smile from them with bright lips, smooth hair, narrow waists, and kitchens cleaner than real kitchens ever remain for long. The magazines do not simply reflect the world, they instruct it. Turn one open, there are recipes rich with cream and sugar on one page, reducing plans on the next. There are cakes for the family and cottage cheese for the woman who makes them. There are holiday menus beside waistline warnings, beauty columns beside dessert spreads, advice about pleasing husbands beside advice about becoming smaller. The contradiction is not accidental, it is profitable. The reader is invited to feed everyone and deny herself, to make abundance and practice restraint, to appear cheerful while hungry, to buy the ingredients for a cake, then buy the product that promises protection from wanting a slice. This is one of the strange emotional economies of the era: consumption for the home, restriction for the woman. Advertisements speak with intimate confidence. They know what she worries about. They know the dress in the closet. They know the glance from a neighbor. They know the fear of looking older, wider, slower, less desirable, less modern. They promise help in tones so friendly that the pressure feels like advice. A woman in an advertisement never seems angry. She never seems tired in a frightening way. Her tiredness is graceful, solvable, almost decorative. A tablet restores her. A cleanser saves her time. A girdle reshapes her. A cereal nourishes her children. A face cream renews her. A reducing aid returns her to herself, though the self being returned is usually younger, thinner, quieter, and easier for others to approve. The magazine is soft in the hands. The paper has a faint chemical smell. The pages whisper when turned. It would be easy to read such a magazine in bed, or beside a kitchen table, and feel accompanied. Yet companionship can carry instructions, page after page. The reader is told that improvement is both possible and overdue. At the pharmacy counter, the paper bag is ready, on the rack. The smiling cover woman waits together. They form a quiet partnership, the promise and the product, the worry and the solution, the image and the bottle. And now the story returns softly to the house. The kitchen is bright. The curtains are still. The coffee cup has left a faint ring on the table. Outside, the lawn holds the afternoon sun. Inside, the bottle has become part of the furniture of the decade, ordinary enough to be dangerous in its invisibility. Noon comes, but lunch does not arrive in the old way. Once, lunch might have been a sandwich, soup, leftovers warmed in a pan, a slice of pie, or at least a moment of sitting. In this house, on this day, lunch becomes more like an idea seen from across the room. The refrigerator opens, cold air spills over your hands. Inside are containers, a plate covered in wax paper, a bowl of something left from last night, a jar of pickles, perhaps a dish of gelatin trembling with unnatural confidence. The food is there. The body does not answer it the way it once did. This is one of the central effects around which the diet pill story was built: the quieting of hunger. To people under pressure to eat less, hunger itself had been made into an enemy, a moral failure, a noise that must be controlled. If a pill could silence it, the silence could feel like victory. You stand before the open refrigerator and feel strangely powerful. Not hungry, not tempted, not weak. This is what the advertisements promised: effortless restraint, discipline without the ache of discipline, a cleaner, lighter self. But the body is not a simple machine. Hunger is not a character flaw. It is a message. When it is muted too often, other messages begin to emerge: dry mouth, shaky hands, a floating feeling near the edges of the room, irritability disguised as focus, a sense that the floor is too bright and the clock too loud. Perhaps you pour water, perhaps you drink black coffee, perhaps you eat a celery stick because it is almost food without the burden of being a meal. The crunch sounds large in the quiet kitchen. It tastes faintly green, faintly watery, faintly like obedience. The magazines have made this scene seem virtuous. Women are praised for taking small portions, refusing dessert, being good, staying trim, watching themselves. Watching becomes the word. Watch your figure, watch your appetite, watch your weight, watch the scale, watch other women, watch yourself from outside yourself until even the lunch feels like a public performance. At the table, a cookbook lies open. The pages show cakes, casseroles, roasts, sauces, pies, molded salads, and family meals arranged with cheerful abundance. There is something almost ghostly about reading recipes while not eating. The mind can dwell on food while the body is forbidden to enjoy it. You study the pictures, you imagine texture, salt, butter, warmth. Then you close the book and wipe the already clean counter. Food becomes something you prepare for others, something you arrange, serve, smell, and decline. A roast can be admired, a pie can be praised, a casserole can be carried to a neighbor, but your own plate remains sparse, a little stage on which self-control performs for an invisible audience. The afternoon light grows warmer. The energy for morning flickers in uneven waves. There is still motion, but less brightness. The body begins to ask for what it has been denied, not always as hunger, sometimes as fatigue, dizziness, impatience, or a sudden sadness without a clear object. The refrigerator hums, the clock ticks. The house is so neat, it seems almost paused. But the body is not paused. The body remembers breakfast not eaten, lunch refused, sleep disturbed, and praise received for all of it. The body keeps its own ledger, even when the mind tries not to read it. This is a good place to slow the story. The refrigerator door closes, the kitchen hums, a glass of water catches the light. The body is doing its best, even when the culture around it has forgotten how to listen. You do not need to be smaller here. You do not need to earn rest. You can let lunch remain in the past and let the room become quiet again. In the afternoon, the world of diet pills expands beyond the doctor and the pharmacy. It enters conversation. It enters friendship. It enters the soft spaces where women gather and compare the private strategies that help them survive public expectations. Imagine a living room after lunch. The curtains are open. The coffee table holds cups, napkins, a plate of small cookies, maybe a casserole dish with a lid, maybe recipe cards written in looping handwriting. The sofa is covered in a fabric chosen to look cheerful and resist family life. The television waits dark in the corner. A few women sit with crossed ankles, neat hair, and handbags placed nearby like small sealed archives. At first, they speak of ordinary things: children, teachers, church committees, grocery prices, and neighbors' new curtains, a husband's promotion, a recipe that did not set properly. But beneath these things is the body, always the body, who has lost weight, who looks tired, who has energy, who is using what, which doctor is generous, which pill works without too much shaking, which one ruins sleep, which one kills appetite, which one makes housework feel like a race that never ends, which one feels clean in the morning and terrible after dinner, which one is worth the trouble because the scale moved. No one says addiction, not in that room. That word belongs elsewhere, to other kinds of people in other kinds of stories. These are respectable women with clean homes and appointment cards. These are prescriptions, samples, modern aids, diet helpers, pep pills. A friend offers a name, a bottle, a warning half hidden inside a joke. The laughter is real, but it is not only joy, It is recognition, a small release of pressure, the kind of laughter that says, "I know," the kind that says, "Me too," but safely, lightly, without turning the room too serious. There is a tenderness here too, women sharing information in a world that often refuses to give them full information. Women trying to protect one another and compete with one another at the same time. Women joking about side effects because joking made them bearable. Women noticing what husbands, doctors, advertisers, and neighbors often did not. They noticed the trembling. They noticed the sleeplessness. They noticed the appetite gone too far, the mood that rises and falls like bad weather, the way a friend's smile has become a little too bright. They may not have the language to make a clean diagnosis, but they have the evidence of their own bodies. The room smells of coffee, powder, perfume, and sugar. A spoon taps the side of a cup. Someone smooths her skirt. Someone reaches into a handbag for lipstick, and the pills rattle softly inside. It is a small sound, easy to miss, but once you hear it, it seems to belong to the decade. The conversation moves quickly, then slows. A child calls. From another room, a clock chimes. The cookies remain mostly untouched, though everyone praises them. A recipe is exchanged. A bottle name is remembered. A refill is mentioned. The women leave with their handbags, their advice, their fears, and the sense that whatever is happening to them is at least happening to others too. Friendship, in this setting, becomes a kind of quiet survival. Not perfect, not free from judgment, but real. A hand on an arm, a knowing look, a shared joke about the scale, a whispered suggestion to be careful, given so softly that it might be mistaken for gossip. There are other gatherings too. A church basement with folding chairs and coffee in a metal urn. A beauty salon where dryers hum like little space helmets. A bridge table where cards slide across felt and each woman's purse sits close to her chair. A school committee meeting where someone mentions having no time for lunch, and everyone understands that this may be complaint, boast, warning, and confession all at once. At the beauty salon, the mirrors are brighter, the light is less forgiving. Women sit with rollers in their hair, capes around their shoulders, magazines in their laps, and the smell of permanent wave solution in the air. Here, bodies are discussed as if they are community projects. A new dress, a smaller size, a neighbor's figure, a celebrity's waist. A new reducing plan, a doctor who understands. If someone grows faint, the room may become briefly kind. A glass of water appears, a chair is offered, a stylist pats a shoulder, then the moment is folded back into the ordinary language of the time. She has been working too hard. She has not eaten enough. She is doing so well. The concern and the praise are tangled together. This is one of the saddest knots in the story. A warning sign can be mistaken for success if the culture is trained to admire the result. Pale face, smaller waist, less appetite, too much energy, too little sleep. The evidence may be visible, but the meaning is misread. And now let the living room rest. The cups are collected. The plate is carried to the kitchen. The curtains move slightly in the afternoon air. The women have gone home, but the room still holds the warmth of their voices. The day continues, but it continues softly. There is another scene nearby. A little later in the week, beneath the warm dryers of the beauty salon. The salon is full of humming machines, glass bottles, powder, magazines, and the chemical sweetness of hair treatments. Women sit in a row with their hair pinned, curled, wrapped, or hidden beneath domes that make them look briefly like visitors from the future. They are still, but not entirely restful. Their hands hold magazines. Their eyes move to mirrors. Their conversations float above the steady hum. The salon is a place of transformation, but also surveillance. Everyone is there to be improved, and everyone can see everyone else being improved. A woman can enter with gray roots, a tired face, a dress that pulls at the waist, or a story about needing more energy, and the room will receive her with sympathy, advice, and comparison. A stylist leans close and speaks softly, because beauty talk often becomes confession. How have you been sleeping? Have you tried the new doctor on Maple Street? My sister lost 8 pounds. The green ones made her too jumpy. The blue ones were better, but she could not eat. The words pass under the sound of dryers, half hidden by steam and gossip. A woman grows pale beneath the heat. Perhaps she has had coffee and no lunch. Perhaps the pill is still working. Perhaps the room is too warm. The edges of the mirror blur for a second. Someone notices. A glass of water appears. The stylist says to breathe. The others look over with concern that is quickly folded into admiration. She is working so hard. She's doing wonderfully. She's getting so slim. This is the dangerous confusion the decade sometimes created. A body asking for help could be mistaken for a body succeeding. Dizziness could look like discipline. Fragility could look like femininity. A woman could become less steady and receive more compliments. The salon returns to its hum. The dryers continue. A page turns. Lipstick is reapplied. The woman who nearly fainted smiles, because smiling helps the room move on. She may be embarrassed. She may be proud. She may be frightened. She may not know which feeling belongs to her and which one was taught. Later, at a church basement or a PTA meeting, a similar moment can happen under fluorescent lights. A hand grips the back of a folding chair. A voice becomes too bright. Someone says she has not eaten since morning. And the room laughs gently because everyone understands, and no one quite knows how to worry without challenging the entire system. So worry becomes small, a peppermint in a purse, a glass of water, a chair pulled closer, a joke, a compliment, a warning whispered too late. Let the salon fade now. Let the dryers go quiet. Let the mirrors darken. Let the women step out into afternoon light, hair fixed, handbags closed, carrying their secrets back into the bright, orderly streets. By late afternoon, the house is shining, perhaps too much. Every surface has received attention. The sink glows. The table is clean. The hallway has been swept. The laundry is folded. The windows show fewer fingerprints than any family could reasonably sustain. The body, however, is beginning to pay the bill. This is one of the great contradictions of artificial energy. It can make a person look extraordinarily capable from the outside while quietly draining the inside. The home becomes evidence of success, the polished counter, the orderly shelves, the dinner prepared on time, the children's clothes clean, the husband's shirts pressed. A neighbor might step in and admire it all without knowing that the woman who met it happen is running on too little food, too little rest, and too much chemical insistence. The eyes feel bright, too bright. The hands do not quite want to be still. The jaw is tight. The shoulders ache. A small noise from another room feels larger than it should. The telephone rings, and the heart jumps before the hand reaches the receiver. Evening light enters through Venetian blinds, making stripes across the wall. The radio has been replaced by the television. Its screen glows with gray movement, cheerful faces, advertisements, sitcom laughter, a world of problems solved in 22 minutes. The living room smells of dinner, fabric, floor wax, and the faint stale note of the day's coffee. The husband comes home. The children gather. The day changes costume. Now the house is not merely a workplace. It is a stage for family comfort. Dinner must seem natural, not heroic. The table must seem welcoming, not like the finish line of a long and private race. You serve food you have barely wanted all day. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, bread, perhaps a salad, perhaps something molded and bright. Plates are filled. Chairs scrape. A glass of milk is poured. Someone talks about school. Someone asks for salt. Someone complains about peas. The scene is ordinary, almost peaceful. You push food around your plate. No one notices at first, or no one knows how to notice. A woman eating little is not seen as alarming. It may even be praised. Such discipline, such control, such willpower. The culture has trained the table to admire absence. The husband sees the clean house, the hot meal, the smaller waist, the cheerful tone. He sees what he has been taught to see. Perhaps he says, "You seem full of energy lately." Perhaps he thanks the doctor in a casual way. Perhaps he believes this is what health looks like. A wife who complains less, eats less, does more, smiles on cue, and stays awake inside a life that has no proper pause. He may love you. That is part of the sadness. Love does not always protect people from the blindness of their time. He may genuinely admire you and still fail to understand what is happening. He may think the pill has restored you, when in truth it has made you more useful to a system that was already asking too much. The children may notice in smaller ways. They may not have words, but they can feel the pace of a room. They know when a mother's voice is too bright, when laughter comes too fast, when a small spill makes the air tighten. They know when she sits at the table but does not eat. Children are historians of mood before they are historians of facts. After dinner, the dishes are cleared. The television continues. Cocktail hour arrives in some homes, with a small glass meant to soften the edge. The pill has sharpened. A drink to come down, a cigarette to steady the hands, a joke to cover the mood swing, a smile to keep the room from asking questions. The body moves between too fast and too tired. Laughter comes easily, then too easily. A commercial may seem absurdly touching. A small mess may feel like betrayal. A compliment may bring relief so strong it almost hurts. The nervous system has been pulled through the day like a thread through a needle, again and again. The television advertisements carry on as if nothing is wrong. Soap flakes, floor wax, breakfast cereal, a cheerful family at a table, a woman in a dress that fits perfectly, a medicine commercial with a voice like warm syrup. Every message seems to say that the right product will make life smoother. The right product will make the home shine. The right product will make the body behave. The living room glows blue-gray. A cigarette burns in an ashtray. The dog sleeps with one ear open. The clock moves toward night. On the surface, the household has reached its peaceful hour. Underneath, the body is still negotiating with the morning's promise. Let us make this softer now. The dinner plates are washed. The television volume lowers. A lamp glows beside the sofa. Outside, the neighborhood is blue with evening. The body wants rest, even if the mind has forgotten how to find it. The story will not force the night open too quickly. We can sit here for a moment in the lamplight. We can let the house become less perfect. A pillow may be crooked. A plate may wait until morning. A person may be tired and still worthy of gentleness. Night should be the place where the body returns to itself. In the 1950s home, as in any home, darkness gathers slowly. Children are put to bed. The kitchen light is turned off. The television becomes a flicker, then a dark square. The street outside grows quiet, except for the occasional car passing, tires soft on pavement. Crickets begin their small, steady chorus if the season allows. The bedroom is ready, a bedspread folded back, a lamp on the nightstand, a water glass, a clock with glowing hands, perhaps a book that will not be read. The room smells faintly of face cream, cotton sheets, hairspray, and the day's lingering perfume. You lie down. The body is exhausted, but sleep does not arrive. This is one of the crueler parts of the story. The pills that help the day move faster can leave the night with nowhere to go. The heart still feels too active. Thoughts continue in loops. Did you lock the door? Did you pack the lunches? Did you eat too much? Did you eat too little? Did the neighbor notice? Did the doctor say one or two? Should the pantry be rearranged tomorrow? Is the scale wrong? Is the body wrong? Why is sleep so close and still unreachable? The husband sleeps beside you, or seems to. His breathing is slow. The clock ticks. The sheets are cool. The ceiling holds shadows from the streetlight outside. The room should be peaceful. It has all the signs of peace, but inside the body, the day is still running. A stimulant does not understand bedtime. It does not care that the house is dark. It does not care that a person has already given the day everything she had. It continues its argument with the nervous system until the mind becomes a room with too many radios playing at once. You turn the pillow. You count breaths. You listen to distant traffic. You try not to move. Then you move. You promise not to look at the clock. Then you look. 1 hour has passed, or 10 minutes, or a century. Time changes shape when sleep will not come at some point. Perhaps you get up. The hallway is dark. The kitchen is silver with moonlight. The refrigerator hums. The medicine cabinet is quiet. The house that demanded so much all day now offers only stillness. And stillness is suddenly difficult. A glass of water waits by the sink. The floor is cool beneath bare feet. The refrigerator motor turns on and off with patient indifference. The kitchen chairs are tucked in. The coffee pot is empty. The bottle in the cabinet does not move, yet it seems somehow present, like an unanswered question behind a closed door. This is where the story could become sharp, but we will keep it gentle. We do not need to trap ourselves in the insomnia. We can observe it from a safe distance. A woman awake in a dark house. The clock, the water glass, the cooled kitchen, the faint smell of coffee from the morning. The body asking for rest in a language the decade did not teach her to respect. Toward dawn, sleep may come at last, thin and shallow, more like a curtain than a room. It covers the eyes but not deeply. Morning waits too close. The alarm will ring, the coffee will start again, the bottle will be there, but for now, let the bedroom soften, the clock ticks, the street is quiet. The moonlight lies across the floor. You do not need to finish the thought, you can let the night hold it. There are nights when the mind tries to bargain with itself. Perhaps tomorrow will be different. Perhaps half a pill will be enough. Perhaps coffee can be reduced. Perhaps lunch can be eaten. Perhaps the doctor will change the prescription. Perhaps the body will simply learn to cooperate. The promises made in the dark are often gentle, because exhaustion makes even small hopes feel precious. In the drawer beside the bed, there may be handkerchiefs, a book, a tube of hand cream, a church bulletin, a photograph, and perhaps a small object from an ordinary happy day. A ticket stub, a child's drawing, a note. These things remind us that the woman in this story is not only a patient, not only a housewife, not only a body under pressure. She is a whole life with memories and preferences, irritations and jokes, songs she likes, foods she misses, letters she has kept, and thoughts no advertisement has ever reached. This matters for sleep and for history. Systems can make people look like symbols: the perfect housewife, the diet pill patient, the jittery suburban woman. But no one lives as a symbol from the inside. From the inside, a life is made of textures: the cool side of the pillow, the smell of a child's shampoo, the ache behind the eyes, the relief when rain begins, the private wish to be left alone for 10 minutes, the memory of eating cake without guilt before guilt learned her name. The clock continues its patient work. The room does not judge. The night does not care what size dress hangs in the closet. It does not care whether the kitchen floor shines. It does not care how many errands were completed. Night, at its kindest, asks only surrender. But surrender can be difficult for someone trained to keep moving. Rest can feel suspicious when worth has been tied to productivity. Sleep can feel like a door that will not open because the body has been taught to stand guard. So we stay with the room. We do not force sleep. We simply make space around it. The blanket is there. The water glass is there. The moonlight is there. The quiet street is there. And somewhere beyond this one house, other houses hold other women awake, each one believing her restlessness is private, when in truth it belongs to a much larger story. The cycle does not remain bright forever. In the beginning, the promise feels clean and simple. Less hunger, more energy, a smaller number on the scale. A house kept shining, compliments, a sense of control, then the body adapts. The miracle becomes ordinary. The same pill feels less magical. The appetite returns at strange hours. The energy becomes jagged. The crash arrives sooner. The hands tremble more easily. The mood dips lower after rising too fast. The mind begins to understand that borrowed energy often asks to be repaid with interest. This is the part that advertisements rarely show. They show the smiling after picture, not the woman standing in the pantry at midnight, eating crackers because her body has finally broken through the wall of restraint. They show the cinched waist, not the headache behind the eyes. They show the clean kitchen, not the person sitting on the floor beside it, too tired to cry loudly. When weight returned, or the pills stopped working as before, the blame often moved toward the woman. More willpower, better discipline, fewer bites, stronger product, new formula, another appointment, another bottle. The culture that had promised an effortless solution could quickly become stern when the solution failed. The bathroom scale becomes a small theater of judgment. It sits on the tile, innocent and terrible. A foot steps on. A number appears. The entire morning can change. The number may decide whether breakfast is eaten, whether the mirror is trusted, whether the day begins with pride or punishment. Magazines keep speaking. They offer meal plans, reducing tips, exercises, miracle aids, success stories, warnings about letting oneself go, and cheerful reminders that any woman can improve if she truly wants to. The language is gentle on the surface and ruthless underneath. It suggests that a body is a project with no completion date. The body pushes back in its own quiet ways. Hunger returns, sleep breaks, the heart races, the mind becomes anxious. The person who wanted to feel more alive may begin to feel less present, less steady, less herself. In some homes, this led to more pills, a stimulant in the morning, something to calm down later, something for nerves, something for sleep, something for appetite, something for the side effects of something else. Medicine cabinets became little museums of mid-century hope and confusion. It is important to say this gently. Women were not foolish for believing the promises around them. They were living inside a system that made those promises seem reasonable. Doctors, advertisers, magazines, husbands, neighbors, and pharmacies all helped create the sense that shrinking and speeding up were normal goals. When everyone agrees that a problem is personal, it can be hard to see the machinery around it. So we do not look back with cruelty. We look back with compassion. A woman skipping lunch in 1956 may not have been vain. She may have been tired of being watched. She may have wanted approval. She may have wanted relief. She may have wanted a day that felt possible. She may have wanted simply to be told she was enough before she changed. The room grows quiet around that thought. A scale on the tile. A bottle on the shelf. A magazine on the bed. A woman standing between them, trying to become what the world praised. We can leave her there for a breath, not judged, not fixed, only seen. The morning after a crash often has a different color. It is not the bright, clean morning promised by advertisements. It is slower, heavier, more uncertain. The coffee smells too strong. The kitchen light feels too white. The body asks for food in a way that is harder to ignore. The mind, after being pulled tight for days or weeks, sags like a clothesline after rain. On such a morning, the old promises can become cruel. The bottle is still there, but it no longer looks like rescue. The magazine is still there, but the smiling woman on the page seems farther away than ever. The scale is still there, waiting with its number, but the number cannot explain why the hands shake or why the eyes fill without warning. This is where blame enters quietly, not as a shout, but as a familiar whisper. You should have more discipline. You should have eaten less. You should have slept more. You should have followed the directions. You should have tried harder. You should have been grateful. You should have been stronger. The willpower myth is powerful, Because it offers a simple story. If success is personal virtue, then struggle must be personal failure. This lets the system stay innocent. The advertisement remains bright. The doctor remains helpful. The magazine remains friendly. The culture remains reasonable. Only the woman becomes the problem. But bodies do not operate by slogans. They adapt, resist, protect, hunger, tremble, sleep, wake, repair, and protest. A body denied rest will ask again. A body denied food will ask again. A nervous system pushed too hard will ask in the languages available to it. Racing heart, irritability, tears, dizziness, numbness, craving, collapse. To understand this is not to remove responsibility from history. It is to place responsibility where it belongs, not only on individual choices, but on the pressures that made certain choices feel like the only respectable ones. Imagine, just for a moment, a different morning, the same woman, the same kitchen, the same clock, but without the scale, waiting like a judge, without the magazine promising correction, without the doctor turning fatigue into speed, without the neighbor measuring worth in inches. What might she do first? Eat breakfast, sit down, open the window, let the floor remain imperfect, rest before proving she deserves it. That imagined morning is quiet, but it changes the whole room. Beyond the home, the larger machinery was turning. Pharmaceutical companies had discovered a market that seemed almost endless. Fatigue, appetite, sadness, nerves, weight, productivity, beauty, domestic pressure. Each could be named, packaged, and addressed with a modern solution. Sales representatives visited doctors, advertisements reached women through magazines and radio. Samples circulated, brand names changed, colors changed, promises changed shape, but the message remained steady. Science can help you keep up. But keep up with what? With a home that must always be clean, with a body that must always be smaller, with a mood that must always be pleasant, with children, meals, husbands, errands, church, neighbors, beauty standards, social comparisons, and a culture that called exhaustion a personal flaw rather than evidence of an impossible load. The mid-century faith in science was not wrong in itself. Science had saved lives, medicine had done extraordinary things, but marketing often borrows the clothing of science and uses it to sell certainty. A white coat in an advertisement, a chart, a reassuring phrase. A woman smiling beside a product that promises transformation without asking why transformation is required. In boardrooms, the story would have sounded very different from the kitchen. There, the words were market share, consumer demand, physician confidence, repeat use, patient satisfaction, brand loyalty. The language was clean and businesslike. It did not smell like coffee left on the burner at midnight. It did not feel like a racing heart under a cotton nightgown. A pharmaceutical advertisement could show a smiling woman with bright eyes, a tidy waist, and a cleaner home. It could mention fatigue lightly, appetite politely, mood carefully. It could wrap the product in optimism and leave the frightening parts outside the frame. That is what advertising does best. It chooses the frame. Regulation and public concern would grow over time. Questions would become harder to ignore. Dependence, side effects, overprescribing, and the social use of stimulants would enter public conversation more clearly. But in the softer middle of our story, before the full reckoning, many people simply continued. Doctors prescribed, pharmacies filled, magazines praised. Women tried, bodies endured. The housewife in the advertisement is always smiling. She never lies awake at 3 a.m. She never snaps at a child because her nerves are frayed. She never stands dizzy in a beauty salon. She never hides a bottle in the back of a cabinet. She never wonders whether the person everyone likes better is actually a version of herself made by appetite suppression and insomnia. Advertising is a dream that edits out the morning after. History asks us to put the morning after back in, not harshly, not to frighten, only to make the picture whole. A shiny kitchen can exist beside a shaking hand. A smaller dress can exist beside a lonely night. A cheerful jingle can exist beside a body asking for mercy. Once we see both, the story becomes less about scandal and more about understanding. There were, eventually, questions that grew too large to ignore. Doctors, researchers, journalists, regulators, and patients would all contribute in different ways to a more cautious public conversation about stimulants, appetite suppressants, prescribing habits, and dependence. The change did not arrive all at once. History rarely turns like a light switch. It moves through reports, warnings, private suffering, public concern, new rules, old habits, and the slow embarrassment of realizing what had once been called modern. For the women who lived through it, the reckoning was not only political or medical. It was personal. It was the moment a bottle was not refilled. The moment a woman told a friend the truth. The moment a doctor said, "Perhaps we should stop." The moment sleep became more valuable than a smaller dress. The moment hunger was allowed to be hunger instead of moral weakness. Some stories ended quietly. A prescription lapsed. A medicine cabinet was cleaned out. A scale was moved under the sink. A woman gained back weight and also gained back sleep. Another could not stop so easily and needed help that the culture had made difficult to ask for. Another kept taking the pills for years because life did not become less demanding, simply because the dangers became clearer. There is no single ending. That is why we tell the story gently, not to flatten it into one lesson, but to notice the pattern. A society creates an impossible ideal, sells relief from the pressure, praises the visible result, and hesitates to name the hidden cost. That pattern is older than the 1950s and newer than we would like. It has worn many outfits, corsets, reducing salts, cigarette diets, amphetamines, grapefruit plans, aerobic promises, detox teas, wellness challenges, productivity pills, apps that count and glow and remind. Each era has its own vocabulary, but the emotional grammar is familiar. Be better, be smaller, be brighter, be tireless, be easy to admire. And if you are exhausted, buy the next solution. Let us return to the kitchen one more time. The day is late now, or perhaps it is another day entirely. The same kitchen, the same floor, the same coffee pot, the same clock. But the light is softer. We are not inside the rush anymore. We are looking back. On the table lies a magazine, open to a diet advertisement. The paper is slightly curled at the edge. A woman on the page smiles with impossible certainty. Beside the magazine is a cup of tea gone cool. The medicine cabinet door is closed. The house is not spotless. There is a dish in the sink, a towel over a chair, a crumb near the toaster, and nothing terrible happens because of it. This is the gentlest rebellion in the story, the unfinished task. A dish can wait, a body can rest. A woman can be more than the number on a scale, more than the shine of a floor, more than the cheerfulness she performs for other people. Some women in that era found ways to step back, quietly or loudly. Some stopped taking pills that made them feel unlike themselves. Some learned from bad nights and trembling mornings. Some found friends who spoke honestly. Some had doctors who became more cautious. Some simply survived, which is not a small thing. Survival can look like a nap, a sandwich eaten without apology, a day with fewer chores, a prescription questioned, a bathroom scale pushed into a closet, a laugh that is not part of an act. Survival can be quiet enough that no newspaper records it. And still, it matters. We should be careful not to make the past too simple. Not every woman had the same experience. Not every pill was taken for the same reason. Not every doctor behaved the same way. Not every story ended in disaster. But the pattern matters because it reveals how easily a society can turn pressure into medicine and then call the result progress. The 1950s are gone, but echoes remain. The language changes, Reducing becomes wellness. Slimming becomes cleansing. Pep becomes productivity. Miracle pills become supplements, boosters, resets, powders, plans, injections, apps, routines, and little glowing promises on screens. The old message puts on new clothes. Improve yourself quickly, effortlessly, visibly. And if it hurts, perhaps you are doing it right. Tonight, we do not need to chase that message. We can let it pass by like an old commercial on a black and white television. The screen flickers, the jingle fades, the room becomes quiet again. A woman turns off the kitchen light. The house is not perfect. The body is not a project. The night is allowed to be night. And now we move towards sleep. The suburban street is dark. Porch lights glow softly. A car rests in the driveway. The lawns are silvered by moonlight. Curtains are drawn. Radios are off. The little houses, once so busy with breakfast, cleaning, errands, advertisements, dinner, television, and worry, sit quietly beneath the wide night sky. Inside one house, the kitchen has cooled. The coffee pot is empty. The chrome toaster reflects only darkness. The scale is tucked away. The magazine is closed. A glass of water stands beside the bed. The medicine cabinet is still, but it no longer has to be the center of the story. A woman lies down, this time. We imagine the room offering rest without conditions. No list, no scale, no compliment to earn, no waistline to prove. No floor that must shine before morning, only sheets, a pillow, a slow breath, and the permission to stop. The clock ticks, but gently now. The curtains move slightly. Somewhere outside, a dog turns in its sleep. The moon rests on the windowsill. The body, after so much pressure to be smaller and faster, is allowed to become heavy in the safest way. Heavy with rest, heavy with warmth, heavy with being here. The story folds itself quietly. A kitchen in morning light. A doctor's office with magazines on a table. A pharmacy bell. A lunch that was skipped. A living room full of women laughing too brightly. A night that would not end. A scale. A bottle. A closed cabinet. A light turned off. All of it grows softer now, not erased, but softened by distance and sleep. You do not need to take the lesson with force. Let it be simple. Bodies are not machines. Rest is not failure. Hunger is not weakness. A person is not more worthy because she disappears by inches. The old advertisements can fade. The radio can go quiet. The kitchen can remain imperfect. And in the gentle dark, there is nothing left to prove. Only breathing, only night, only the slow return of the self to itself.